What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you guys doing today? Woo! Man, I'm so excited to have you guys here. You guys, welcome to Making the Case. Of course, I am Anthony Denmark, founder of Becoming JD, where our goal is to help you guys get into law school and manifest your lawyer dreams. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm still kind of out of it. Literally, just got a couple text messages. I got 3 people that got into law school today, so I'm just really excited about that. And also excited to be able to help you guys take the next step in your journeys. What's going on, Alexandria? What's going on, Nicholas? What's going on, Waza? What's going on, Serena? What's going on, Shanae? What's going on, Ashley? As our room fills up, I want you guys to make sure and let me know where it is that you're viewing our session from. Of course, you know I'm holding it down over here in Minnesota. I said Minnesota. In St. Louis, Missouri. Let us know where you're viewing our session from. I hope you guys, for you guys who of course have the LSAT coming up this week, I want you guys to know that we're praying for you guys, rooting for you guys. I want you guys to stay rooted and encouraged and realize that all the prep work that you've done, you're ready now. Don't doubt yourself. Realize that everything you've done is for this moment. And regardless of what the outcome is in regards to that score, you're going to be in somebody's law school this year. And that's on God. Facts, right? And so as our room fills up, what's going on, Michael? What's going on? I want you guys to go. We got Cleveland in the house. What else we got in the house? Who else we got up out here? And so one of the things, of course, we do every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we have a guest on to be able to share their story, share their journey. And we've had a lot of amazing guests come on. And if you guys have missed out on those episodes, please make sure you guys go and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out some of these amazing guests. And one of the things that's been so wonderful, you guys, is if you go ahead and look at our Instagram profile, you'll see the pictures of the people who've been guests. They've also been amazing ambassadors, helping you guys in regards to your journey, helping you guys in regards to your applications, helping you guys also in regards to finding law schools, and helping you in regards to prepping for interviews. So I want to give a big shout out there to Jemiah, give a big shout out there to Angelique, who've literally helped some of you guys out there in regards to preparing for your interviews for law schools, and also in regards to preparing you for visiting law schools. I also want to give a shout out there to Monet Justice. She made an amazing video that's going to be dropping tomorrow to let you guys know how you need to be getting ready for your upcoming interviews or your upcoming visits. I know right now it's a lot of people who are really trying to figure out, okay, so I haven't heard back from law schools. What am I supposed to do? Any of you guys in that boat? You guys are sitting there, you're like, okay, I sent out all my stuff. Either I've gotten waitlisted or I haven't heard anything at all. And so you want to know, what do I need to do in this situation? How am I supposed to navigate in this space? And right now, one of the things I can tell you, the biggest mistake you could be doing is doing absolutely nothing. Because right now is an opportunity for you to be able to build, add, and grow. I know I got a couple students who literally have gotten off the wait list already based off of some of the strategies and tactics that we've been able to take to be able to help them along the way. What's going on, Alexandria? What's going on, Yemen? What's going on, Captain Briggs? And so let me see if we can go ahead and get our guest on. But one of the promises that I make to you guys is wherever you are in your journey, I want you guys to make sure and fill our chat box up with questions, because I want you to make sure that you're coming away from our session, what I say is fed and full, with a clear direction in regards to what you're going to do. That could be if you're dismissed. That could be if you are in the midst of trying to figure out, should I apply or not to apply? Should I do JD next, or should I do something else? Of course, my answer, of course, was to tell you guys to do BOAF, both. And so fill up our chat box with questions, because I want to make sure that you guys have a clear message in regards to what steps you're going to take next in regards to navigating this journey in regards to becoming an attorney. And so let's go ahead and see if we can get our guest on. Let's see, I'm going to spell this name right here. Come on, man. Rhasean. No. Rhasean, if you're already out there, make sure you send an invite. What's going on, Sean? There we go. I see, bro. There we go. All right. So we're going to go live with him. Again, let us know where you're viewing our session from. You guys out there, I know I've sent out simple requests out there, and I'm going to go ahead and say it to everybody before we talk to my bro right here. It's, man, you need to go apply for Cleo's Pre-Law Summer Institute, all right? Go apply now. I know people have done interviews already, and they are now in the process of being able to get secured and locked in for law school. So go do that now. You can do that after our session's over. But without further ado, man, let me go ahead and bring my guy on, man, because the first time I spoke to him, man, he didn't have all this.
Yeah.
All bearded and JD'd and swagged out. What's going on, bro? How's everything going for you, fam?
Hey, man, I can't complain. Life is good. Made it to a finish line. Just starting, and something ends and, next thing begins. But, hey, life is good. I can't complain.
And for you guys who do not know, this is my man, Rhasean, man. This guy, like, literally started in one space and is now here. Literally filled up a passport. I remember you hit me up, and I was looking at our old messages. You was like, bro, like, I gotta go do something out of country real quick, and I'm back now. And now my man's graduated, fam. So go ahead and tell him who you are, what you're doing, and we just gonna throw in some get on to these questions, fam.
Yeah, absolutely. As you stated before, my name is Rhasean Stevens. I'm currently an officer in the United States Army. Just finished this law journey. It's been a long time coming. So before this, I was stationed in the Seattle area. I just finished up grad school at the University of Washington, and fortunately got a call. The Army said, "Hey, we'll send you to law school for free," and so the rest is history. And it feels like it was just yesterday, and we're already done.
And one of the things that's amazing, oftentimes, is oftentimes one of the things, like me and my son, we talk about it. So it's like you got two choices in life, right? Two choices are you either make barriers or you make solutions. And life is gonna be life, man. And so people oftentimes, and I'm sure you be like, you sitting here be ready to laugh. People like, oh man, you got it easy, bruh. Don't let this smile and this JD fool you. It wasn't easy at all.
Yeah.
So take them behind the scenes and tell them oftentimes what that struggle was like, because a lot of people out there, fam, they're sitting here saying, man, he had it easy. He don't understand what it is to go through hard stuff.
Yeah.
And I tell people, one of the reasons why we do this show is because I want people to understand. It's just like, man, those challenges that you're going through, those are signs to give up. Those are signs to be like, oh, I'm on the right track.
Absolutely.
I'm in the territory. That's why it's hard. But I'm gonna get my brands together. We gonna be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll start before even law school. I always tell people I took the LSAT 6 times. Right, like you got to keep fighting if it's what you want. And so I went from one LSAT score to raising it, over the course of the next 5 times, over 20 points. And every school that I got into, I got a full ride. And so there could have been multiple opportunities to just stop and say, maybe this isn't for me. But, you just keep knocking on the door, stay consistent. And it worked out for me. Just, buckling down, rearranging my focus, looking at something that's redirection. And so finally being able to go through that process and to make it to law school, especially starting law school during COVID and then moving across the country, it's a lot for anybody. So I just thank God, for perseverance. But, perseverance and being consistent it's going to take you everywhere.
And so one of the things definitely, because I definitely was looking at one of the messages, like COVID was definitely in the midst of COVID at that time. One of the things that people battle with oftentimes was self-doubt. I tell people, man, that LSAT, man, just takes a stranglehold on you. So,
absolutely.
And it's crazy once you get through it and get to law school, nobody give a damn about your LSAT score.
At all.
During that process, what are some things that you did to help you manage with self-doubt and getting your score up? Because I think a lot of people, it's pride and ego, because, man, I took it 7 times. And I think I really, for most of the time, it was just, I didn't really prepare like I needed to until I had the last final time when I was like, okay, I got to do something different. So what was that preparation like for you when you didn't do good the first or second time?
Well, I think one thing, self-doubt is always going to creep in. And for people who, when you get to law school, it's even more aggressive. Right? You were talking about imposter syndrome, about doubting yourself. You don't get the grade that you want, a grade you thought you were going to have when you study so hard for it. There's always going to be times in life where that doubt is going to creep in. And so the part of that question, what I would say is to always remember your purpose. your why. Right? Like it goes back to that. And if you have a strong sense of why you're doing this, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter what that score looks like. You're not looking at just that. You're looking at the people you're doing this for and your mission behind it. So one time, I would just say, accept that self-doubt's going to come, but just always go back to the drawing board. Have a great community support you, people that believe in you, and just always just look back on the wins that got you to this point in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we forget how far we done came back.
Absolutely.
Like, you think about it in the Bible, it talks about that story where he was walking and walking and walking. We never realized how far we've gone.
Exactly.
We're always thinking about where we want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've all kind of gone through things to help us get to a certain place. So what was your purpose? What was the thing that motivated you?
I consider myself a servant through and through. When this life is over, I just want to be known as somebody who served, who gave their heart for other people. And that can look like a lot of different things. But I think, fortunately for me, I just finished a program that focused on community planning when I was getting my master's. And so just to see the people that I knew I can impact their lives meant a lot to me. And it was always understanding that this JD degree is not for me. It's not for me to beat my chest. It's to help the next generation. It's to have representation. It is to uplift people that don't have a voice or have never seen somebody that looks like me become a lawyer and who understands certain struggles. And so now I can approach things differently. So it was just always remembering that the people that I've met and the people that I haven't met, the people I haven't even met yet, that I knew that I can impact if I just stay on this course and keep pushing through.
Absolutely. And for you guys who just joined us, we're on the line with Rhasean Stevens. My man just graduated from Baylor Law, y'all. Fresh JD, brand new JD. What's up?
Yes, sir.
Also, man, I just think about, like, for you, one of the things that we had talked about was trying to pick a school.
Mm-hmm.
What was that process like? Because oftentimes people get so consumed with just trying to get one yes. Fam, you had multiples. How did you go about that process? Because I think a lot of times people really don't know what to look for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say the first thing that I would do is don't really look for a school. Look for, I think, master the LSAT. That's unfortunately still going to be the key that we're looking at, right? To gain admissions. Once you get there, it's just you have to be available to anything. I would tell people Baylor was not my first choice all the time, but it's where God wanted me to be at.
Absolutely.
And so now, as I look to where I'm going to go next, it's not necessarily about being in one place. It's about wherever I go, I just want to be prepared. And so I think when you have that mentality, opportunities will open up to you. Schools will open up to you. And for me, I would tell anybody, I think, look at bar passage rate, but also go where the money's at. If someone's going to give you a full ride, I don't care what the name is. You got to get the money first, right? Because I would hate for anyone to, chase their dream for a certain school. You don't have the experience you thought, and then now you're in debt. So it always goes back to, knocking out the LSAT, making sure you have the best possible package, the best application you can do, apply early, and hey, get that money. And once you do that, the world is yours.
So y'all check that out, right? What he's saying, I'm gonna break it down. Correct me if I'm wrong. Be like, Anthony, I ain't say that. What he's saying, man, we gotta have an open mind, you guys.
Absolutely.
You gotta be open to different opportunities. You don't know where you're meant to be. Oftentimes we kind of step outside of our comfort zone. Because going to Waco, was that a comfort zone or was it stepping out of your comfort zone?
Man, it was stepping outside my comfort zone for sure. Demographics, not everyone looks like me. It was being back in Texas, which, at that time coming back from COVID looked a lot different than when I left Texas, years ago, coming from a place like Washington. COVID looked different there than moving here. And just really starting the ground running as soon as I got here. It was absolutely, it was different, but you got to stay grounded. And like I said before, just remember your purpose.
And just to add on to that, like, going to different places, oftentimes you may see people who may not see a lot of people who look like you.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
Start somewhere. And one of the things I think is phenomenal, you got your boy down at Canal. Canal Woods, who's down. He's going into his second year right now.
That's correct.
You guys check the podcast. Amazing young man doing a lot of great things.
Yeah, exceptional.
But you build that community. I tell people, there's only 6 HBCU law schools.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only a certain, every place can't be a chocolate city.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? There's a lot of law schools out there that have a strong community where they're going to look out for each other
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be there to support each other. And oftentimes, you know, you're not going to see that by just looking at rankings.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to go to those communities and meet these people and get a chance to rub elbows. It's one of the things that I definitely give huge kudos to Baylor and so many other law schools is they're making efforts to try to increase diversity and representation at their schools.
Absolutely.
And so I tell people, so when they are trying, give them a chance.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity. I know when we say certain things, because I know we just got a guy into to law school in Topeka, Kansas.
Uh-huh.
You know, when we think about Kansas, it's like basketball.
Yeah.
But you guys, there's so many different opportunities. All we have to do is have an open mind. I tell people all the time, fam, I say, all we need is one yes. And oftentimes that yes comes with us being open to different opportunities,
Absolutely.
open to different experiences outside of our comfort zone. And you definitely took a step out of your comfort zone. One of the things that's amazing, you like, man, you know, I took a step, man, I'm ready to take another one. I don't know where it's going to be, but, you know, I know it's going to be something that's going to provide an opportunity for me to be a servant.
Absolutely.
And that's something that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, you know, you just got to find your own community. You know, people aren't always going to look like you, but as you stated before, it doesn't matter. You know, you got to start somewhere. And that's big. I was having a pizza a couple weeks ago, and this gentleman that was working there who looks like us was like, "Hey, like, don't you go to Baylor Law?" And I was like, "Yeah, I go to Baylor Law," and we start chopping it up. And I automatically connected him with some other people, gave him some mentorship. I gave him every kind of LSAT preparation that I had, and one of the things that he asked me is, "How does it feel going somewhere and there's not too many of us?" And it's really just about creating the space and letting other people know that it's okay. You know, there will be people that if you don't have a community, you can create your own.
Right.
And I'm fortunate enough to, you know, go to a great school where we are continuing to increase representation, but the other people there look like me, they're exceptional people, and they're, you know, part of the reason I was able to have, you know, so much success and make it through law school.
I mean, you know, my man over here getting awards and acknowledgments over here. I went on his page. I see the king.
Yeah.
King doing big things. But you guys, one of the things that I want you guys to be able to understand what's so amazing now is, of course, you know, every law school is literally one DM away.
Mm.
And literally, you know, if we want to send a message to any icon or any person of privilege, we can send a message to them any day. And so one of the things I encourage people, do not come in with your preconceived notions. Have an open mind. Hey, fam, you go to this particular law school, tell me, give me the tea, what's up?
Yeah.
Is it a good school?
Absolutely.
I tell you, go to Boston for every law school or Lawson for every law school and just send a message. Hey, how's it at the school? And see what's good. And so one of the other things I want to ask you to talk about is, like, you know, one thing I tell people is that law school really isn't as much about law as it is about you learning about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, because the law going to be the law,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about you learning how to really absorb the information. So tell me, what did you learn about yourself in law school between your first year and your second year? Because it's like we the same person, but man, this is like a switch goes off.
Yeah.
And it's like all this makes sense. I don't have to spend 3 hours reading no more. And hell, by the third year, man, we got all this time in the world.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, man, you learn so much about yourself. And as you said earlier, law school is a journey about, yes, you're learning the law, but you learn a lot about yourself, good and the bad. What are your insecurities? What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? And you can't just run away from your strengths because you don't know something, or, you know, say you have a bad grade the first year, the first, you know, couple quarters. It doesn't matter. I think what you really have to do is learn how you study, learn what works best for you. I used to think that I could study by myself and I'd be successful. And, you know, previous, you know, degrees, of course, that worked out for me. But I learned in law school, talking things out with other people, getting with a group, that helps a lot too. I learned that, first of all, talking to professors a lot. Do not be afraid to talk to your professors. You cannot be afraid to talk to them. You don't want to wait until finals. And so to always have a consistent schedule, I will always mark on the calendar, you know, every 4 weeks, I'm going to talk to my professors just to make sure that I'm on the right page for success. I will look at every single exam and see, after I finish, okay, like, how could I do better? And those are things that are going to set you up for success. But when everyone's going home, or you think everyone else has it figured out, so you don't want to put in the work, or you don't want to ask for help, that's when you're really going to grow. You got to find out what works for you. And if you don't know what works for you, keep trying. Link up with somebody who will be able to help and coach you and mentor you throughout the process.
All facts. Because one of the things I thought about, I was talking about somebody else with this the other day, is think about it, man. How often do our phones update? Like practically like
All the
every
time.
other.
Yeah.
But ask future lawyers, aspiring lawyers, law grads, how often do we update our process of how we prepare and how we study?
Yeah.
A lot of people, fam, they going off of the same process and they have from elementary school to high
Absolutely.
school. And
Absolutely.
oftentimes that goes towards an LSAT study.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in all love, right? Not judging anybody. And it also goes to law school. And oftentimes don't hit that reset button until something happens.
Absolutely.
And the thing that happened for you, I think is amazing. It's just like you didn't wait for something to happen. You became proactive.
Yeah.
See, me, I waited for something to happen. I had to get dismissed before I hit my reset button. It's like, I got factory update. And so somebody asked this question here for you on here. Better Call Stu said, do you have any advice about outlining or practice exams for 1Ls?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know there's a lot of schools out there when it comes to getting exams. You can get like an old exam professor and see how they graded, what they're looking for, or what the rubric is. And that's the best thing that you can do. Each professor is going to grade differently. And so you have to understand what they're looking for, what language they're looking for. Do they like the IRAC system? Do you like the CREAC system? Do you want you to preface something, or do they just want you to push out all the information? No. And so really getting to know that professor and what they're looking for, there will usually be an opportunity, either one for office hours or two, to just review an old exam and see what the best answer is, and then line that up with your answers. And then also midterms. If you're fortunate enough to have a midterm, do the best you can on the midterm. If you don't perform great, don't beat yourself up about it. But that's your opportunity to go to your professor and see what they're expecting before it's too late. And as you said, you want to be proactive instead of reactive. Second, as far as outlining goes, be consistent with outlining. There's some people, they can look at somebody else's outline and they're good. What I would tell everyone, though, is learn how you conceptualize information for yourself,
Right.
and what your outline looks like, and then get with somebody else and see how their outline looks like. And then you can fill in the gaps and say, okay, maybe I was missing on this concept, or actually my outline looks pretty good and I'm more comfortable this way. But it takes the consistent effort of showing up and outlining consistently throughout like every single concept. And that's how you build those building blocks of not only learning how you outline, but of learning the material so much better than just looking at somebody else's outline.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I think what it comes down to is the process is so much more important than the outline
Absolutely.
itself.
Absolutely.
You guys, that you'll understand later, is how that 50-page outline becomes a 10-page outline.
Yeah.
It becomes an index card.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that process works. But that's just a part of your learning. And one of the things I want you to understand what Rhasean's saying, man, you got to listen. You got to be pivoting. You got to swallow your pride. You got to understand, man, you don't know.
Yeah.
But you have
Absolutely.
to be willing to be able to utilize the resources so you can get the answers of what you need to get.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it by yourself. I remember, man, I bought all these commercial outlines. I was like, man, I wish I would have got my money back. All the little commercial outline books.
Yeah.
That you buy all, your first year, you buy all of these things.
Uh-huh.
Also, they in the corner collecting dust.
Yep.
It's the process that really how you learn it.
Absolutely.
You don't really reading somebody else's stuff. You got to really get in there and mix things up. And so one of the things I also want to talk to you about is, like, for example, I know a lot of times people get really caught up on, I want to go in this particular field when I become a lawyer. When you went into law school, did you already know what type of law you wanted to practice?
I thought I did. I thought I wanted to do contracts. And, I respect all those people that do contracts, but that's probably the furthest thing away that I want to do now that I've been throughout law school. And it's okay if you do have an idea, and you'll quickly realize that that's probably more for you, or you'll realize that your skill set will probably take you somewhere else. And so it's just to be open. It's good to go with a certain idea and know what kind of classes that you want to take, but just understanding that honestly, that might shift a little bit.
Right. Because I know, fam, I got a lot of people that's, well, I want to go to this school only because of this. And I'm like, man, what if you don't
Yeah.
like that?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that's what happens. But another question I want to ask is, it's like, for you, and also I want you to talk to this, because I got a lot of people, we got military folks that want to go to law school. And I remember one of the talked about is what I call decoding your resume, so people can see your greatness, right? Because oftentimes on the military resume, it may say contractor, contractor, contractor. Javon, I'm talking about. And so how did you go about letting people see your value in your resume, so that way civilians could be able to understand it when they're, of course, looking at your application?
Well, the first thing I did was get with you, right?
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, I think I gave you my resume, and I think I found it maybe a couple months ago, and I was like, wow, I was really going to send this to law schools. You know, it looked good to the military me, but to people that don't understand that language, you're not showing your best self. And you can have a great resume, but if you can't articulate that on paper to somebody and make it quantifiable, it doesn't do any good. So what I did was, you know, as I said before, we got together and we went through my resume multiple times. You really, you know, read inked it up and kind of explained to me what law schools are looking for. And that really helped me get ahead of the game.
Because one of the things I tell you guys, I want you guys to be able to understand it is, and I remember I saying to Rhasean back in the day, is your resume is the summary of your decision making. It's a summary of your value. I know a lot of times we be sleeping. Personal statement, letters of recommendation. Fam, if I want to get a summary of your life, I'm going to go look at your resume.
Absolutely.
And that resume is going to tell me, I know, Javon, you've heard this before. Rhasean, you've heard this before. It's going to tell me, wow, what value does he bring to the places that he's in? Rhasean is in the room. Does he get ish done? Or is he just there collecting the check?
Exactly.
I'm tired. We are just collecting the check.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, one of the biggest challenges law schools are thinking about, okay, so if we put this king in this chair, what are we going to get back in return? Because I want you to tell them like how much you became engrossed in the Waco community and how you got involved in the law school. Because, fam, you weren't just doing school.
Yeah.
Put them and tell them how you were rolling, fam.
But yeah, absolutely. I think for me, especially the opportunity to be in the military beforehand, I'm used to moving a lot. And one thing I've always told myself that I just don't want to be a part of somewhere and take from it and never give anything back.
Right.
And so for myself, what I wanted to do is bring in more people that look like us into the law school. I wanted to bring more diverse people to the table. And so once I got to the table, actually getting to law school, I took ownership and was understand, okay, it went from I'm just having a seat at the table to, okay, this is now my table.
Yeah, come on, y'all. Come on,
right?
Sam.
Like if there's other people that look like me who are afraid to come here or they don't understand what we're doing, you know, that says a lot as well. And so what I want to do is also just highlight for the school how great Waco is. I think Waco has a lot of culture. They have a lot of people that look like us who are doing great and meaningful things. And so one of the things I was fortunate enough to be a part of as the vice president of our Balsa Society was a Martin Luther King Jr. Day where we just highlighted, honestly, Black excellence across the Waco community and just building connections with the school to just let people know that, hey, we're just not some ivory tower, but we see the work that you're doing. And then we tell future lawyers, hey, you can serve every single day. You don't have to wait till you graduate. There's always a time to serve your community. So much about being a lawyer is about being an advocate for championing other communities. And so it doesn't just start at the finish line. You can do the work every single day. So I was just fortunate enough to, you know, kind of have that concept going forward and having the support to make it happen.
Because I remember me and you when Baylor made the news.
Yeah.
You sent me a message like, fam, we're going to get this worked out. We're going to get this worked out.
Yeah.
Watch. And I was watching from the back. I was like, my man is doing the things he said he was going to do. And it's been amazing just being able to watch that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like what we can do oftentimes is that we could take a screenshot of something and not be able to see the work that's being done to change that situation. Sure. And
yeah.
I want you guys to be able to understand this king is here. He's saying, yo, y'all got questions? I'm here. Pull up. But I want you guys to be able to understand this is the only way schools change is when they inject people in there who want to be a part of that change.
Yeah.
Really blessed to have so many amazing guests on. And I wouldn't say it's been intentional, but literally, I think, fam, most of our guests have come from so-called schools where people are like, hold on, that ain't in Atlanta. That
Yeah,
ain't in D.C. That ain't in Chicago. That ain't in H-Town. But I think that's something that people have to be able to understand is that there's so many amazing opportunities out there. And there's so many amazing kings and queens out there making opportunities as well.
absolutely.
Other things I want you to tell me about is this, fam. Right now, we got a lot of folks out there who are thinking about giving up. You know, I
Mhm.
mean, you remember how it was being back there? And I want to know, what are some encouraging words that you have for them? Because, I mean, bro, like, when we get these LSAT scores back, it's like you literally have two opposites. You got people that are on cloud nine.
Mhm.
It's like, man, I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
done. What's going on, Danica?
yeah. I would say, I would just tell everyone, listen, I've been there. I've been in your shoes before. Absolutely. You know, I've been there and I've looked at my LSAT score and say, it's just for me. And then working even harder and then getting another LSAT score and it's the same or maybe a point or two better. It's like, this is not going to be good enough. And repeating that process, you still feel like you're on your goal and you say, you know, God, why me? Why, like, what is going on? I know you put me on this journey, but why? And believing that this time is going to be your turn. And sometimes it's not, but it's the consistency. Whenever you feel like giving up, those are the times where you're right at the
Yeah.
breakthrough. Keep pressing until you get to the breakthrough. But it's okay. There is many people that have had a score like yours or even worse than yours that have gone to law school, that have passed the bar, and who are doing great things. And so don't be discouraged. Always remember your why you're doing it, and have a great support system. And if things don't work out well now, then hey, go back to the drawing board and figure out how you can be better.
I mean, real talk, what I want you guys to understand. Mrs. Smith said, Rhasean for president. She said that earlier. She
Yeah,
said, you are
yeah.
amazing.
And let me just say this. I want to shout out Miss Smith. So that's our DEI director and coordinator at Baylor Law, and she is so amazing. When I went to Baylor Law, we didn't. It was the first year, I believe, that Juneteenth was an actual federal holiday. And before she was even our DEI coordinator, she was putting stuff together to make sure people knew what Juneteenth was about and giving people across the law school history and to let them know, hey, if y'all gonna get this day off, you're gonna know exactly what it's about, right? You're gonna know some Black history. And so she has just been, she is everything at Baylor Law. So I appreciate having her in my corner, and she's always a great asset. Yeah, I can't say enough great things about the work that Miss Smith has been a part of and the resource that she's given me as a student to succeed.
And they are, you see them giving her love on here already. I
Yeah,
see you. And I want you guys to be able to understand is the support that Miss Smith gives. Those are the things that you're looking for in a school.
yeah,
Bumper ranking, bumper tier. Are you going to have a support system in place for people that are going to be cheering you on, encouraging you, and giving you resources? I mean, Miss Smith
absolutely.
helping people. We got Danica on here, Alexandria on here. They ain't at Baylor Law,
Yeah,
but she's a positive impact on their life.
absolutely.
Type of people that you know are going to be invested in you. And
Absolutely.
I'm not making a sales pitch for Baylor Law, but I'm saying, like, for real, you guys, you want to be able to find a community of a support system where you know that you're going to be good at, man. I mean, she's the auntie, it seems like, to everybody at Waco.
Oh, everyone loves her. You know, she might be president one day. You know, she makes waves in everyone that she goes to, and like I said, she's just done a great job with not only you know, making a great Baylor experience, but also just making the honestly giving us a table to where, you know, we're just not students. There's not too many of us still. We've consistently you know, grown throughout the years, but it's not just being a student there. She wants to make sure that we have a voice. And that's just not for African American students. That's been for every single student of color or not. They know if they need anything, that Miss Sanders, she's there.
Thank you, Miss Smith. We appreciate you. Thank you. And so, man, this is amazing, right? So one of the other things I definitely so what's next? So what's on tap next, man?
Yeah. So for me, as I said, you know, I'm in the United States military. Fortunate enough to be a part of a program where the Army sends 20 to 25 personnel a year to law school. That's another fight, right? Like I had to not only go through law school, but also compete with all these other people to be one of, 20 or 25 people every year with the opportunity to go. And so now that that's over, my commitment is to return to the military and be a JAG officer and continue to, sharpen my legal skills and continue to improve the lives of people across the world. So that's what's next to me. I'll find out exact location probably in May, but as I told you before, as long as, I can just go and serve, we'll do the best we can.
That's amazing, man. And I want you guys to be able to understand. It's just like it speeds by fast. Like
Yeah,
I first
absolutely.
met Rhasean, all that goatee that wasn't there.
Yeah.
But my man had a hunger and a determination and focus. So I remember we initially had a conversation, and then a year passed, and then we reconnected again. And like about at the end of the day, you guys, I tell people, you can attest to this. It comes down, do you want it? Are you willing to work when other people quit? Are you say? And I think one of the most amazing things you said, Ro, was having to evaluate yourself. And sometimes that's been like the hardest process. And I think a lot of times that's one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people deal with, is trying to really be like, look themselves in the mirror and be like, okay, I could I could have done this better. That's me, dog. That's me. I messed that one up. How's that process been like for you? Has it become easier and easier? Or is that something that something that we have to deal with?
Oh man, I would say I become so much self-aware in law school. And so I think I know for a fact it's easier for me. You got to have, I think, a great routine. So regardless of how much work I had going on, I had a real regimented schedule. I was going to work out all the time, but I also got locked in with like a really good therapist that was always allowing me to see things differently and process things differently. And those are the things that, I think is not only going to made me a better law student, but also a better attorney as well. And so just being able to make sure I'm tapping into every single resource, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually as well, I think has definitely helped me become more self-aware and continue to adjust, because everyone's trying their best, and sometimes, you have to unlearn certain habits, certain behaviors, certain patterns to become that best version of yourself. And so I'm always looking to become, just a better version.
Man, they singing your praises in the comments. I'm reading it again. It's just like Capt said, the law school journey is not easy, but evolve a lot through the process. You do. You definitely do.
Absolutely.
Better Call Stu said, the path you're going down, you have big time politician potential. Okay. And Capt was saying that the FLEP program is so competitive. I'm a paralegal for Army JAG office.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey, yeah. Hey, JAG leads the way. Yeah. It's very competitive, but it's a great program. If you can get into it, I highly encourage you to take the LSAT and apply. Funded legal education program. It's the best program in the Army. I'm convinced of that for sure.
My man Lewis said, my guy is preaching. And you got B.A. Stevens. Rhasean, you're such an inspiration for all people of color. I'm very proud of your accomplishments. May God continue to bless you on your journey, on your future endeavors.
And for y'all who don't know, that's my mama right there, B.A. Stevens. The reason I'm in law school now. So I would not be anywhere without that woman. Matter of fact, she was the one who told me about the FLEP program. She just sent me an email. And the rest was history. And so, without having, a strong support system, I definitely would not be here. So shout out to B.A. Stevens, a.k.a. my mom.
A.k.a. mommy. Everybody said mommy. Hey, Mom. That's amazing. I looked at some of your Instagram pictures. I was like, man, just think about it. Like, how did it feel when they called? Have you that walked during graduation yet?
Yes, sir. Yeah, walked on Saturday.
How did that feel? How did that feel, man?
It's so surreal. It's just you're always on go mode. Up until that day, and then I think I was just sitting there. I think it was before they had called my name, and I was just like, wow, I'm really here, right? I thought I was gonna get here. When I was getting, taking the LSAT multiple times, I wasn't getting the score that I wanted. I didn't think I was gonna be here. But it's just, you keep grinding, you keep persevering, and it's one of those times like I know I can look back on and say, regardless of how hard things may get or how dark things may get, I've already have a baseline of success and accomplishments that lets me know that everything is going to be okay, and that's so important.
Wow, man. Wow. I mean, it's amazing. I just think back to, like, at the end of the day, normalizing that the challenges are going to happen, but also normalizing, man, there'll be some challenges before, so
Absolutely.
okay. And I think, I think a lot of times, you tell me what you think about it, I feel like almost to a degree, it's like after the LSAT, you kind of have to rebuild yourself back up to realize, I got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
After, finals, first year finals, like, okay, I think I got it now.
Yeah.
In graduation, it hits you, it's like, wow,
Yeah,
I did it.
exactly.
So does your mom embarrass you guys by yelling and screaming during graduation? You do that?
Yo, yeah. Oh, come on now. Yeah, and listen, it ain't no embarrassing me. I remember I was up there. They called my name. And I take my picture, and then sure enough, my mom, she just hears somebody in the background. That's my baby. I'm like, yep, here I am. Standing tall, looking good. And so it's just always good to have the people that that you love the most and have supported you this whole time be able to share that experience with you. And so I'm just grateful. I just always want to make my parents proud and let them know that they raised a productive member of society. And hey, this is just the beginning for me.
And I always like to end this show by giving you the last word. I want you to give your last word of encouragement that you give to somebody. I call everybody our brothers and sisters-in-law. What's that last word of encouragement you want to give to our brothers and sisters-in-law before we let them go back and study and grind?
I would say that the world needs you. Like future lawyers, future law students, the world needs you. So don't give up. Remember what your passion is. Remember what your purpose is. But hey, this world needs you, and the world is better with you, with legal skills, with you being a lawyer. So regardless of how many times you have to go back to the drawing board, think about me and know that I was there, and then now I'm on the other side, and you can be too. And whenever you want to give up, just realize that the world needs you. And if you ever need anything between me and becoming JD, hey, we're only a click away.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what else to say. My man just preached right there. So, fam, I want you guys to understand that we are a community here to help you guys win. And please, Miss Smith, please holler at me because I want us to work with you too. We all here to help you guys win. Understand you're not on this alone. You got a brother-in-law who just told you to holler at him. You got an Miss Smith who's literally out there dropping gems and helping people along the way. Realize you have resources. Reach out to us. We want to see you guys win. Rhasean, congratulations, fam. I know, Mom, thank you so much for raising a great king. And you guys continue to fight for your lawyer dreams. We'll see you guys again next Wednesday. Peace and blessings. And Rhasean, we out.
Yes, sir.